Is there seriously anything better than buying yourself a Christmas present? Seriously, is there anything better? And last night, I went off to get a Christmas present, a new barbecue. Allegedly, it was for the family, but as we all know in Australia, barbecues are the men's domain. Seriously, went off last night, and the experience that I got in 3 different stores within 45 minutes were poles apart. So I thought today I would tell you about each of those experiences and see if they resonate with you at all in your business or your experience. But more importantly, I'm going to give you 3 tips right at the end on what you should be doing in your sales process. Welcome to JT in the Raw Show 270. Show 270, where I chew the thin on business, and after 32 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew, and every single week I come on here live to share with you experiences that I've had over the previous week that I think we can all learn from. Today, I'm coming to you live from my gym that I built during COVID, and working out here now pretty much every day or so. It's been super convenient, actually, to be honest. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So, barbecues. Let's start off with what I know about barbecues. You can actually write everything I know about barbecues on the back of a drink coaster in probably 14 point or 15 point. I know nothing about barbecues, so I've gone in to the stores knowing one thing only. We have natural gas in our house, and so we needed a barbecue that we could put a natural gas burner on or attachment on, so that was it. That was all I knew. Sure, done some research online, didn't really know the brands, didn't know much about it. So first store we walk into is where else but Barbecues Galore. Barbecues Galore, they spend shitloads of money on advertising, whether it's print ad, newspaper ad, or even because I've been to their website, they're retargeting me on socials. We walk in to Barbecues Galore, and there are 4 staff, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 staff, all standing behind the desk. And in the 10 minutes we were there, not one of those 4 staff, 4 of those staff did not leave behind the desk. Bear in mind, I said I know nothing about barbecues. I was there to buy one. All they needed to do was come out, show me some love, talk to me, and you never know what might have happened, i.e. bought a barbecue. But no, they were stuck behind the desk. It was like they had concrete boots on and couldn't leave the desk. So as a result, after wandering around and looking at the barbecues, and I gave off every sign that I needed to give that I was interested in buying, no one came to help. Left empty-handed, and we headed up to Harvey Norman. Now, I didn't even know Harvey Norman sold barbecues, but we went up there. Now, one of the interesting things about Harvey Norman is that they have barbecues all over their furniture floor. They're everywhere. They're not even just, there's one place where they have their smoker barbecues, but all of the other barbecues are all over the floor. So you can't just go to one spot. You actually have to walk the floor. Now that's an interesting tactic and sales tactic in itself, but it was incredibly inconvenient for me. So it made sense from the retail perspective of why they did it, but from a consumer perspective, it caused friction. It was a pain in my butt. So for me, I was ready to turn around and walk out as soon as I walked in and saw that there were barbecues everywhere, and I thought, I've got to walk the whole floor to find barbecues. So there's a lesson again in itself for us. Are we setting up to sell our products based on what we want to do or based on what the customer wants? What do you think will sell more? My suggestion is probably the customer. So I walked all over the floor, checked them all out. There wasn't anyone to help me. No one was there coming around and saying, can we help you or answer questions, until I got to the very last barbecue when Kim came over. And Kim was super helpful. She told us all about the barbecue. Now, there was a sign on the barbecue that I was looking at, and it said floor stock. Now, to me, that meant that I was taking that one home. And so I was on the lid and it was shaking around. I'm like, oh, God, I want to buy that. She said, oh, no, this is not the one you take. We've got one out the back. I went, great. Tell me more about this barbecue. And here, not a word of a lie. She hasn't asked me anything about barbecues. Here's what she said. You have to build it yourself. It comes in a box. You build it yourself. And you should allow a few hours to build it. And make sure you build it properly. Otherwise, that lid will rattle. That alone turned me off. I was like, thanks very much. I'm out of here. The last thing I want to do is build a barbecue. I've never built one before. I don't know anything about barbecues. Why would I want to build one? So, she was close to, the price was in our budget. The features are what I was looking for. But she blew it because she actually presented an objection for me right up front that she could not overcome. So, I'm thinking, right, I've got to go back to barbecues galore. I'm going to have to get the crowbar out and leverage this person out from behind their desk and come and explain the different barbecues to me at Barbecues Galore. Then I realised there's another store called Weber. Now, I only thought Weber barbecues, again, from a marketing perspective, were just small barbecues, charcoal barbecues. I didn't think they did big barbecues. I didn't really know too much about Weber other than I knew they did small barbecues. I thought, I'm just going to have a look just to kick the tyres and see what it's like. So there's an interesting my perception was they actually didn't have what I wanted. Their marketing was not smart. So I go in there. And I think I would have been in the store kind of about 60 seconds when a lovely older gentleman came over and said, hi, my name's David. Boom! First off, the first two stores. First store, no one came and talked to her. Second store, lady came over, didn't introduce herself. I just know she was Kim because of her name badge. This gentleman walks over and first up says, hi, my name's David. Are you looking for a barbecue? Give me your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. How good. How good is that? I said, well, we need a barbecue. It's a family Christmas present. I'm looking at a barbecue. He said, so you want it before Christmas then? I said, oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if it's a Christmas present, of course we would. Right. He said, we've got to make sure then whichever one you pick, we've got in stock because I know there are some we don't have in stock. What ones are you looking at? Well, I said, look, I don't really know anything about them, blah, 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 blah. He said, well, the good news is the ones you're looking at, we all have in stock. Boom! He set an expectation here. Then he's exceeded my expectation by telling us everything was in stock that we were looking at. Whether that be true or not, he had me sold. He's got me. The first thing he says to me, what do you need in a barbecue? Scarred, absolutely emotionally scarred by my last visit and discussion around what barbecues are from Kim. The first thing I say to him is, I need someone who can build it. He said, that's what we do here at Weber. He said, at Weber, we believe the most important thing is that your barbecue is set up right and you know how to use it. I went, well, I know how to use them. You chuck the meat on. He said, no, sometimes there's some special ways that, we need to be able to cook our meat. Really? Really? And he said, so if you get a barbecue from us, we will have someone come to your house. When they deliver it, they will build it, and then they will show you how to cook on it. I turned to him right there and then and said, right, I'm buying a Weber. Now, your job's to tell me which one I need. We then went through, all of the Webers. But a couple of interesting things that he did. First thing he gave me was maybe a 2-minute summary, history of Weber. He got me brand loyal by explaining to me about the history of Weber. And I was sitting there going, wow, this is fascinating. I know nothing about barbecues. I'm not interested in barbecues. But he suckered me in by giving me that history and making me brand loyal. Again, reinforcing why they were the experts in barbecues. Why they were the experts in barbecue. He then said to me, so these are the ones you're looking at. Now, these are the two that probably you're going to choose from. Let me go through the features of both, and then we'll talk about the benefits to you of both. And when he went through the benefits, he asked me a whole bunch more questions. I was like, that's clever. So we were able to identify which of the two barbecues was most important to me. Morning, Eugene. So what did he do? He asked questions, and based off those questions, he was able to ascertain which two were most important to me and which one was the ideal barbecue to meet my needs. Fantastic. He also did another really cool thing. He said, let me tell you, Justin, the 4 reasons why you barbecue with the lid down. I went, really? There are 4 reasons? I didn't even know that. And he said, how long do you normally cook your steaks for? And he went into how long I cook steaks or chicken or sausages for, and he explained to me. So he educated me on why you cook with a lid down. Can you see how this guy is now building this relationship with? Sure, he had me sold on Weber up front. Now he was trying to close me on which barbecue to buy. I am, as I've expressed many times, a super consumer. I always like to buy the best. But in this instance, he said to me, you don't actually need that one. You need the second best. So that's going to save you some money. I went, okay, great, thank you. So he, again, set an expectation here, exceeded my expectation by telling me which one I needed to buy. And finally, of course, he did an upsell. The upsell was not clunky. There was no friction. It was a beautiful way that he just moved from the barbecue when I made the decision to buy it, moving straight into some cleaning implements and giving me some options for racks to go inside the barbecue. It was seamless. It was friction-free. And because he'd spent time building a relationship with me, of course, he upsold me on a few extra items. One of the important things that I find in sales is that more often than not, people are now shopping across multiple brands to determine where they're going to buy from. Whether they're visiting 3 or 4 gyms, talking to 3 or 4 personal trainers, going 3 or 4 real estate agents. They explore all their options. And in 45 minutes yesterday, I went to 3 different barbecue retailers. So I was able to very simply compare each of those experiences, especially considering I was there to buy. None of them knew I was there to buy. I did. Did I buy the Weber barbecue because of the Weber barbecue? Or did I buy the Weber barbecue because of David? Good question. My thought process in hindsight is probably I bought it because of David. I actually didn't buy it because of the barbecue and the features and the benefits of the barbecue. It was because David took the time to learn about me and what I needed in a barbecue. So what are the big 3 tips that I can take from David and his sales experience that I can share with you? 3 really simple ones. Number 1 was his body language. Starting from the head down, he had beautiful eye contact. Not staring, not ogling, but enough eye contact to connect with me. He had this huge smile. He had a beautiful, big smile. And he never stopped smiling. He also laughed. He created humor. So I give him credit for the humor. His arms were down straight. They weren't crossed at any stage. They weren't behind his back. They were in a neutral position by his side with his palms showing to me. Now that's an important thing. When we study human beings and the way we've evolved, is that if we've got our hands here like this, it's so that we can grab our guns or our knives to protect ourselves. And automatically the person in front of us is defensive because our hands are there. His hands were by his side. I could see his palms. They were open. His body language was open. So number 1 was his body language. Never underestimate your body language in the sales process. Number 2, the questions that he asked. Not only did he ask questions, he listened to the answers and then followed on with questions. There's a good tip for you. Good questions, good follow-up. And number 3 is that he gave me the solutions to my problems. I didn't even know what my problems were around barbecue. I didn't know my pain points until Kim discovered them when she said, you've got to put it together. No, David, he ascertained what my problems were and then showed me the solutions. He explained to me they would build it. He showed me how to clean the barbecue. He literally showed me how to clean a barbecue. He told me how to cook the meat so it was perfect on medium. He told me how you cook sausages. He educated me. Solutions to my problems. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the successful strategy for selling. Body language, questions, solutions to problems. At the end of the day, yesterday I was going in to buy a barbecue. I went to 3 different retailers and I would have bought from any one of those 3 if they'd educated me and sold me on their product. Only one did, which made it a very simple purchase. What about in your business? Like, I would think if somebody's watching this who works for Barbecues Galore, they will be pulling their hair out. By the way, if you know anyone at Barbecues Galore, tag them in the comments below or share with Barbecues Galore and see if they get the message. Harvey Norman, would they like to know what was happening? Of course they would, because they missed out on a sale. And Weber, again, great example of what to do. So in your business, how often do you mystery shop your business? How often do you explore whether the sales process is what suits you or the sales process is what suits the customer? And the customer is the one that's going to buy, not you in business. It was a great experience yesterday, being able to compare the processes side by side in a short period of time. I learned a lot. And I took away what the keys were: body language, questions, solutions to problems. I already knew it, but then to see it in action in front of me made it even more powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move into 2022, I want you to consider examining your own sales process. If you're a club, maybe we could mystery shop your clubs for you. If you're a gym, we could mystery shop you, because that's what we do in our business, and we provide great feedback on exactly what I'm talking about today. Yes, Jamie, you're right. I wasn't looking for the best or the cheapest, but the best salesperson was the one that made the sale. We all learn every day in sales processes. We can take away from that to improve our own. I hope you enjoyed the show today. If you know anybody in sales, anybody that's selling at all, maybe they should watch this show and get a few tips. I would really love you to share the show. Just tag anybody in the comments below or hit the share button wherever it is on whatever device. Have a great weekend. Have an awesome week. Going to hit the gym now. Catch you on the flip side.